Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Moon Knight episode 4. Now that we've finally gotten into the tomb raiding portion of this show, it really does seem like that the series is coming into its own when it comes to its themes and characters. On top of that, it really has a great moment for our villain Arthur Harrow, and it shows how clever he is when it comes to tricking Mark and Steven into thinking they're insane, as well as using Layla against them as well, in an interesting way. I love him as a villain, but let's get to the story, shall we? So Layla and Steven happen to get to the tomb of Amit, where they're trying to find a way to find the avatar that Amit had previously. Turns out said avatar was Alexander the Great, and when Steven finds a certain relic inside Alexander the Great's gullet, Harrow happens to tell Layla what happened to her father. So she wants answers out of Mark. He provides them to them in basically the way you'd expect him to, and Harrow happens to take advantage of this by brutally shooting Mark Spector and putting him in a mental hospital. I love the fact that Harrow is able to be both subtly manipulative with Layla. Well, granted, he's also rather condescending about it, but what do you expect from a man with his hubris? But anyways, he's able to do that while also being able to disguise himself as a psychiatrist to convince Mark that all this stuff about Khonshu is just delusions that are going on in his head. He's able to be genuinely menacing while also clearly having fun, making Mark and Steven have the worst possible days of their lives. But you can also tell he's genuinely doing well with going for his motivation. He genuinely wants to help the world, but he wants to do that by eliminating the choice of evil entirely. And yeah, eliminating that kind of choice might be going a little too far, and thinking that he alone is the one who should lead the world into this is, like I said, the very definition of hubris. But I also appreciate the fact that this episode was able to go into some darker material than a lot of other Disney Marvel shows. There's a fight with a supernatural being that tries to kill Layla at one point. He chops up a dead body. She has to use a flare on this supernatural being to get it off of her. It felt like something out of the Mummy movies, or out of a more brutal PG-13 style tomb raiding adventure. And to see that out of a Disney property is nothing short of surprising. That's not to say that the series hasn't delved in brutal and more gritty material before, but it feels like it just gets more and more intense with every episode, and this one's no exception. On top of that, I just appreciate the authenticity of the whole thing. There's even this little VHS snippet that has this character named Stephen Grant as a famous archaeologist, like an Indiana Jones or Lara Croft type. It's actually pretty fun, and it does show that Marvel's still able to have fun with the material without undermining the tone and the overall purpose of the story. Which, considering how some of the recent MCU properties have gone, this does seem like it's genuinely one of the better things to come out of this phase of the MCU. So, with only 2 episodes left to go, I'm wondering where they go here. Especially since I'm wondering what the heck was up with that hippo at the end. Well, we'll have to see later on, won't we? We're getting close to the climax, so let's just hope they can stick the landing. See you next time.